Hello, Division 4. All right, so our current event today is called Disappearing Birds. It says, are you a bird lover? Do you watch these creatures soaring over treetops, flitting among branches? That's their little flappy, what it's called when something is flitting. That's when their little bird feathers are in a slight little flap. Perching on the fence, of course, that means sitting on fence posts. Do you enjoy listening to morning's bird songs? Birds are everywhere, but as you may have noticed, there aren't as many as there used to be. Right there. A new report tells the story. Over the past 50 years, North America has lost almost 3 billion birds. Wow. Bird populations have declined by 29%. That is that's a big percentage when you think 3 billion birds in the last 50 years is pretty remarkable. Ken Rosenberg was the study's lead author. He reviewed bird counts from more than 500 species. He also used weather radar to compare the mass of migrating birds. Migrating, of course, means when they move, they go for the warmer climates. For example, we know our Canadian geese in the winter, they fly south. We've always heard so. Migrating just means changing location. He was stunned by his findings, but birders, and a birder is a person who studies birds or who bird watches, say they mirror what people have been seeing. The declining species include common backyard birds such as sparrows, juncos, and starlings, for example, and warblers and blackbirds. And if you guys remember, I recently was trying to get a birdhouse in the back to get. Because one of the favorite birds I enjoy is the hummingbird. You know, I get the hummingbird feeder, and now I've put, with the weather coming out, I put a couple of feeders out, and the birds need to eat, and it's kind of neat. It's just the squirrels that keep on climbing the pole and getting my bird food. Birds that migrate long distances have also been hard hit. They have done worse than birds that they stay put all year round. Some bird breeds in Canada's Arctic, of course up north, but migrate to Central to South America. So they breed in, so you think about it, they go all the way up in the north of Canada and they go all the way down to Central or South America. Look at a map and you can imagine how far that is. And you can think of all the dangers, right? You know, whether they get sick. There's so many different dangers. I'm not going to say that like hunters or something like that, but you hear about them hitting by planes, and just, when you're traveling, there are more likely to be issues as opposed to staying put, as I said. And that's why they say they are done worse. Why the decline? Which means, why has it gone down? Scientists say the biggest reason is habitat loss. So habitat is where you live. So it's the loss of where they're living. There's now less forest, and we've talked about that lots in class, where we always continue speaking about, taking away the trees, or we take away your desks, and you guys have to find somewhere else to go, and it gets overcrowding. With overcrowding, you have less food, and you can see where that's going. More urban sprawl. That just means that so there's less forest. Urban sprawl means is when the cities get bigger. Eventually, way years ago, Vancouver was a city, and then it went out to Burnaby. And then it kept on going to New Westminster, expanded out to Burnaby, and then they moved on across the bridge to where we are in Surrey, and that's called urban sprawl. When it just gets even bigger, then out to Langley, and then Abbotsford and Chilliwack, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. Well, the habitats are going; they're taking down trees, right? More commercial farming, more people need more food. You need more farms, less trees, right? Our environment has become less bird friendly. Because the birds, as much as we say that birds can live in the city, that's not their habitat, really. The other human-caused danger: birds are poisoned by pesticides. Oh, because of course we want our foods not to have bugs and stuff like that. Well, those birds, and they're eating those pesticides, and unfortunately perishing, which means they die. And they see reflections of trees and skies and windows and fly into them. I don't know if you've ever seen that, especially in the big, tall buildings, but even in maybe at your house, you'll hear a thud and a bird is flying, and because they see the reflection off the window, it actually looks like a tree or stuff, and they don't see it. Household cats. There's another one. We always think cats chase mice. Well, they also like birds. It's what we call death by thousand cuts. Why should we care? Just birds, right? Well, maybe you don't love birds, but birds are important to the environment. Oh, there we go. They catch insects and they pollinate plants. So, because when they're catching stuff, just like bees, they get parts of one plant on their feet or on their feathers, and then they fly to another plant, and that debris from the previous plant goes to that, and that's how they get the pollination. Pollination is when you get the seeds from one plant and it goes with another, and then therefore you get a new plant, and therefore we get more and more plants, and that's exactly the idea. Also, they serve as a warning. What's bad for birds are often bad for other animals. Oh, a warning system. If birds are in trouble, that's a red flag for other species. So if something's going on with the bird population, chances are other populations are also going to have the same problems. In fact, scientists believe that 1 million species of plants and animals are at risk of extinction. We know that word. 1 million species. That says it all right there. Something needs to be done. The big picture is very concerning to the scientists. Turning it around. His report suggests actions that individuals can take to make a difference. Oh, right. This is stuff that we can do when they say that. Keep cats indoors. Well, fair enough, but cats like to go outside, so I don't know. Or in an enclosed area. There we go. So put them outside, but maybe have them in a way that they're not going to hurt. They don't put them where there's just a bird feeder, for example. Reduce the chances of birds colliding with windows. Replace lawns with native plants. Native, of course, means things that came from here. Unlike grass, these plants provide birds with shelter, nesting areas, and food. You'll see that around a little bit. Instead of people with big grassy lawns, they'll actually have plants in their front yards and things like that. And instead of having like a big golf course, you have more places of trees and things, and that's where it's quite pretty as well. And also at the same time, you're giving your habitat back to the birds. Another way to help, tracking their health of the world's 10,000 bird species is an immense challenge. Citizen scientists, say that fast 3 times, can help by counting birds in their backyards. And hey, I can do that. They participate in local bird counts. They post observations online using such as eBird. There's an app. I think I might have to look into that. Good news. Broader conservation efforts can make a difference. They have boosted the number of waterfowl and birds of prey. For example, waterfowl, of course, are birds in the water, and birds of prey, of course, are birds that are hunted by predators. When we put our mind to it, we've been able to recover species. That's something, says Paul Smith, and the reports of Canadian co-author. So, a native plant describes a plant that has always grown in a place. So basically, you're not going to bring a cactus into our West Coast society neighborhoods, but something that, maybe a small cedar plant or something that's from this area. Here's one of these ones. What if there were no birds? That sounds like something we could do in Kids Blog, maybe. Okay, until next time.